Hi all. It's been a while since I've done one of these model railway videos. I've been a little busy with various other projects. If you follow my channel, I've been working on Tales from the Tube and my London history videos, and I'm afraid the model railway stuff has kind of gone by the wayside a bit. But I thought I'd make a video today, just looking at this wagon here. Now, this was one I recently acquired from my local model shop for £4, which is a very nice price. It's a Hornby 5-plank wagon from, I think, the 70s or 80s. They did this livery for quite a while. Hornby of this era has a reputation for being not much cop and, well, for being kind of toy-like and plasticky, and to some extent that's justified, but I actually don't think this is a bad wagon. Because if you look at the printing there, it's rather nicely detailed. That typeface is perhaps a little bit modern. It's this particular version has this later chassis where the brake gear is separately moulded, which really lifts it up, in my opinion. So yeah, I think it's a neat little wagon, really. The livery is, I'm not sure how authentic the livery is. There definitely was a company called Arnold Sands in Leighton Buzzard, which was founded in, I believe, 1860. So I'm sort of assuming that it's at least inspired by an authentic wagon. So I think this is a wagon that's worth a little upgrade. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, here we go. Now, as I see it, the biggest problem with this wagon is that it's self-coloured plastic. You know, it's this maroon plastic which looks, for want of a better word, plasticky. Like the interior would not be that colour, so need to do something about that. I want to pick out the corner plates in black, which I understand the real ones had, or at least that's what every other Arnold Sands wagon model that I have seen has, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use Rail Match's Weathered Black, which is actually a sort of grubby brown, which is perfect for a workaday wagon that wouldn't see much attention from the cleaners. So, let's get to it. Alright then. This is a pretty quick job. Just going to pick it out very carefully, like this. I'm also going to go over the chassis with it, just so that so that all the metalwork matches. This might take a while. Might want to skip to the end there. Well, that's that finished. I've done the corner straps and I've gone over the chassis, and I think that's quite a big improvement. And this was really simple. This job took me like 5-10 minutes, but we're not stopping there. No siree, Bob. There's more to do. Acrylic paint is fairly quick drying stuff, so I can very swiftly move on to the next stage, which is got to do something about this interior. Now, with a wagon like this, the interior would not have been painted. I mean, what was the point, really? It's not like anyone was going to look inside, and the sand would very quickly rub any paint off anyway. So that needs to be kind of a bare wood look, and for that I am mostly using this paint here, Citadel's Rakarth Flesh. I don't know who or what a Rakarth is, but their flesh is pretty good for representing old bare wood. So that's what I'm going to use. There really is nothing fancy about this. I'm just going to paint the whole interior with this, and as you can see, it's a very quick job. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to skip to the end. It's not a super neat job, but it's not supposed to be. I mean, it's meant to look sort of a little bit uneven, kind of, like it's been bashed about a bit. So next step is we're going to add a little more exterior detail while the interior paint dries. Just a tiny little thing, which is I'm just going to pick out the ends of the brake levers in white, which is a thing that they used to do on the real railways. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, particularly in this light, but these wagons have an awful lot of moulded detail that you just don't really notice. So here, there's a little chain holding the door closed, which I think is a really neat detail, but it looks a bit wrong with the lettering painted over it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pick it out with silver. There now. Don't know if you can see that there. There. Really simple. Again, just adds a little more detail and highlights the work of whichever anonymous hero designed this wagon in the first place. Now I'm going to do the same on the other side. Right, the wagon interior should be about dry now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this paint, which is Citadel's Zandri Dust. Evidently Zandri needs to hire a cleaner. Ha ha ha. And this colour, which is Model Colours Dark Sand. And what I want to do is just pick out some individual planks. Because in real life, not all wood is the same colour, and wagons like this would have a lot of running repairs done. So, let's get to that. This here is going to be a fairly new plank. If you're worried about getting sort of between the lines, you can use masking tape to just sort of block the planks off, but the mould lines are raised, so it's fairly easy to stay within them. That being said, I'm once again going to skip to the end before I embarrass myself. Here we go. So, as you can see, I've picked some planks out there. This one sort of stops here because that's where the door would be. Now that's a little bit of inconsistent detail. There's a door on the outside but not the inside. I'm kind of hoping that won't be super noticeable once it's all weathered, but yeah, we'll see. So, on to the weathering. If you've seen my previous videos, then you'll know that one of my favourite weathering techniques is to just use watercolour. Just use a little wash of sort of black and brown. Just kind of really spread that around. It's more to highlight the detail than anything else, to add shadow between the planks and so forth, and just generally give the whole thing a slightly worn look. I haven't gone as heavy as I sometimes go with these wagons, because, I mean, if this was a coal wagon, I'd just go completely nuts. This wagon is, I presume, mostly used for carrying sand, so I've just gone for a sort of general thin layer of grime. So let's leave that to dry for a bit, and now it's time to move on to powders. Now, if you've seen my previous weathering videos, you will recall that what I like to use is matte eyeshadow. this is much the it's very much the same as weathering powders. In fact, I understand it's pretty much the same stuff, but it's that much cheaper, and you can get much the same effect. So I'm going to use a lot of browns on this, because this is, a wagon that works. It carries sand. It's going to be sort of dusty. Don't really want a sooty look. So yeah, that's going to be my starting point. So you can see it's a fairly rough process. Yeah, see, we're already getting a bit of shade in the corners there. Lovely. I want to highlight the brake blocks, so I'm getting some of this colour, and I'm just going to put it on the brake shoes there. That's a little heavier than I intended. Oh well. I'm also going to put it on the buffers there. The buffers tended to get quite a lot of hard knocks on wagons like this, and the coupling there. It's little things like this that kind of bring out the detail. Because this is a sand wagon, I'm going to use some lighter shades. Now this is something I've not really tried before, but I kind of want to get, the look of. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Yeah, that, I've just realised I trailed off in the middle of the sentence there. That look of a wagon that carries sand. There we go. Might just get some lighter colour there as well. Yeah, I like that. Finished and ready to go into traffic. I'm quite pleased with the way that's turned out. Like I say, this sandy effect is new to me. As you can see, it's sort of actually served to highlight some of the moulded detail, which is a good thing. Like I say, I think the moulded detail on these older wagons is very underrated. And yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the end result. For a £4 wagon and half an evening's work, I'm pretty pleased with that. Maybe I'll do more of these. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you soon. Cheerio.